Alright, and Cebu Pacific's, 30th anniversary. Congratulations to them. And today we're gonna, join this stakeholders meeting with here at the Pelican. So we'll learn more about their plans, especially for Cebu, and the other things. But meanwhile, while waiting, check out some of the food prepared by our friends from the Pelican. Oh, diba? Oh, so a lot of, leaders from business, tourism, and, from hotel friends, from the LGUs, from the chamber. So, we're gonna learn more later because we wanna encourage everyone to let's fly everyone.
Coming back here is because Cebu City is very important to Cebu Pacific's network, to the airline. And so every quarter we're here, but I think some members are also here more than every quarter to provide an update on the network, on collaboration, opportunities that we can work on together. So this morning, a few things that we'd like to share and update you on. So at Cebu Pacific, we actually just finished our annual performance review. Parang gano'n, we all go through performance review and we look at how we did in the past year. So that's kind of what we want to share with you today, how we did in 2025, the year that recently concluded, and what to expect for 2026. Caveat though that all of this was prepared before the war. So let's just keep that in mind. Okay? But we will always still be cautiously optimistic and a promise on what Cebu can offer to communities for our stakeholders. In terms of the total number of seats we offered, 7.1 million seats, and that's a 6% year-on-year increase. Flying 6 million passengers in 2025, all from our Cebu hub. That's a 7% increase from 2024. And in terms of total number of flights, 49,000 flights. This is our biggest hub outside of Manila, by far, bigger than Clark, Iloilo, Davao.
Yeah, Cebu Pacific flies more destinations even compared to Manila in their network.
The formal props are moving outside of Manila starting end of March. So flights to
Siargao.
El Nido, Siargao, Busuanga will move out of Manila, so the direct services to these islands will be through Clark now, right? Now, why is this an exciting opportunity for Cebu? First of all, you have the most, outside of Manila, again, most international flights. No? And if you look at the next slide, please, you will see that if we look at the profile of our passengers flying to El Nido, Siargao, and Coron, this is from Cebu. 50% of the passengers flying to these islands are non-Filipino, are foreign. And with the turboprops moving out of Manila, is an opportunity for Cebu to really become an island connection, like an island gateway to the Philippines' best islands is going to be Cebu. And while we were talking about it geographically, Cebu is also best place. It's right in the middle of the Philippines. And you have a fantastic world-class airport. We have a fantastic world-class airport. The Cebu Connect product is better than, it's not there. It's one of the best that we've experienced. Right? Because when we arrive, kind of domestic connection, when you don't even have to go through the gate. You go straight to the gate. the same would apply to international. No? So we have a great airport, the most flights and connections, a great connecting product, and the destination itself, Cebu itself, is also a destination. Not just for beaches, but also for food, for mice, for everything.
Increasing flights.
22 times weekly. El Nido 14 times weekly, 18 times weekly. Look at this one, 16 times, 23 times. Dark. Okay, and then the list goes on. Right? And this is for the summer season. 22% growth. In terms of flights, 14%. 24,700 flights, 28,200 flights. Right? With DOT and HCAT, right? Last January, to promote the Visit Cebu campaign. I think a lot of learnings there. We'll use that as a foundation to continue more of these collaborations. I think one thing we observed here, I'm so happy that the chambers are all here, is that the other thing that sets Cebu apart is how everybody's working together to achieve the same goal. Sparks dreams, no? And make people think that travel is possible. So right now we have our anniversary, 30th anniversary Super Sea Fest, a piso sale that runs up to March 11. Travel period from November up to March of next year. I think quite important now with fuel going up and people worried about travel becoming expensive. We do what we can to make sure that fares remain low. That's part of travel, to everything we said in this video. And with that, I will end our update.
It is a privilege to join this Cebu Pacific Stakeholders Update, an event that reflects something essential to Cebu and the Visayas: partnership. For more than 3 decades, Cebu Pacific has been connecting cities, people, economies, and opportunities. And when we look at the story of Cebu's growth today, we see clearly that aviation has played a central role in that progress. And I believe so because when Cebu Pacific was starting, I also started working for my dad way back then. I think it's under 50%. That's when Lance was trying to push for this Cebu Pacific. And I know Lance because we dealt with his dad. He was raised really well by his dad. Today, Cebu and the entire Central Visayas region continue to experience strong economic momentum. The region has consistently been among the fastest growing economies in the country, expanding by about 7.3% for 2 consecutive years. Cebu itself stands as one of the Philippines' most diversified and dynamic economic centers, driven by tourism, manufacturing, logistics, IT, BPM, and global services. Tourism alone brings millions of visitors to Cebu each year, supporting thousands of businesses and livelihoods across the province. This growing demand for travel is clearly reflected in our aviation sector. The Mactan Cebu International Airport recorded a historic 11.3 million passengers in 2024, and just this January welcomed 1.3 million travelers, the highest monthly traffic on record. And I believe Boss Anton here is not stopping. They will increase more and more.
Around $60 before this entire crisis started. And today, before coming up to the stage, I checked how much it was. Now it's $110. Now, that's not
60.
jet fuel. Jet fuel is going to be higher.
Higher.
We have something we call crack, which is the difference between, so for example, this is Brent, then you add something called crack, then you get jet fuel. So right now, jet fuel for us last year, probably around $80 to $85. In the last maybe couple of days, jet fuel is now $180 to $200. Right? So this clearly will have a material impact in terms of pricing, right? Because clearly
And also,
the airline
maintenance.
and many other transport companies will have to pass on these higher fuel bills to consumers. Now, I really think it's quite a fluid situation. It's something that the airline has to look at and monitor closely. I think maybe we're thankful for a couple of things. First, our exposure to the Middle East operations is not as high as other airlines. Clearly, other airlines whose base of operations in the Middle East are mostly impacted. But here, obviously, in the Philippines, we only fly to, I think, Dubai and Riyadh. In fact, Riyadh, we started last March 1st, which was the start of the company. We were able to start some operations, but ultimately we've had to cancel them for safety purpose reasons. So we're thankful in that aspect that we are not as exposed as compared to other airlines. The second part is we have a really strong domestic network, and we are an archipelago, which makes air transport at the end of the day still an essential form of transportation. You could take the ferry or a bus, but it'll take you 10, 11 more hours to get from one place to the other. I think the third is we're glad that we made very early investments in upgrading the fleet into
More
NEOs.
efficient.
More than 70% of our jet fleet are already already have NEO engines or new engine options, which burn 50 to 20% less fuel. Now, having said that, it is a challenge not just for Cebu Pacific, but clearly the industry and the country as a whole. We import all of our fuel, and it is something that consumers and companies will have to tackle. And it is top of mind for us today. And again, it's something we're monitoring. We're hopeful that the war stops soon, but hope is not a strategy, and we have to do our part. So we will continue to take a look at internally, for example, expenditures and the like. We'll also take a look at our network to see what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So it is something that will clearly evolve in the next couple of weeks. So I hope in that sense, but clearly it's something we'll review. In fact, over the Christmas period, we had increased flying from Cebu to Japan, and that did very, very well. We're also hopeful of this, to be fair, this potential removal of the travel tax that should encourage
More.
more Filipinos to travel. We do think that any cost, for that matter, is something that could, I guess, discourage people from traveling by air. So we do think the travel tax removal can be a big boost. So in terms of the network, well, it's something we'll continue to review. If there are opportunities, clearly we'll mount it. But again, it's given the current situation, it's something we have to closely monitor.